What if I told you that 50,000 years ago, an ancient human stood in the middle of a hunt, no spear in hand, no stone axe, no trap, and instead reached out and grabbed a bird, not to eat it, not to cook it, to use it as a weapon. And it worked. Stay till the end, because the last part of this video will completely change how you think about ancient humans, and just how far ahead of their time they really were. When we picture ancient humans hunting, we picture the same thing every time. A muscular figure running across a plain, spear raised, chasing something enormous. That is one way they survived. But here is what almost nobody talks about. Ancient humans were also watching, constantly, studying everything around them, the land, the weather, the animals, and especially the birds above their heads. And slowly, over thousands of years, they figured something out that sounds completely impossible. Birds could be tools, birds could be partners, and in some cases, birds could be the most effective weapon a human ever had. Let us find out exactly how. Act 1. The Hunters Who Watched the Sky. Imagine you were living in ancient Africa. You have no map, no GPS, no way of knowing what is waiting for you beyond the next ridge. But above your head, a group of birds is circling. You know exactly what that means. Something is dying over there, or something large is moving, because birds always know before you do. Ancient humans learned this fast. They became expert readers of the sky. The direction a flock moved, the way birds suddenly went silent, the panicked scatter of smaller birds from a tree. Every single one of these signals told an ancient hunter something critical about what was happening on the ground below. This was not guesswork. This was a skill, passed down through generations like a secret language between humans and the sky. But reading birds was only the beginning. Some ancient humans took it much further. Act 2. Birds as hunting partners. Here is where things get genuinely wild. Falconry, the practice of training birds of prey to hunt alongside humans, is one of the oldest partnerships between a human and an animal ever recorded. We have evidence of it stretching back at least 4,000 years in Central Asia and the Middle East. But many researchers believe the practice is far older, possibly tens of thousands of years old. Think about what that actually means. An ancient human somehow caught a wild falcon or eagle, did not eat it, did not fear it. Instead, spent weeks, maybe months, building trust with a creature that could tear flesh with its feet and see prey from hundreds of meters in the sky, and then sent it out to hunt. The bird would spot a rabbit, a small deer, a ground bird, something the human could never catch alone at that speed. The falcon would strike. The human would run in. Together, they shared the reward. This was not a trick or a lucky accident. This was a system. A coordinated hunting strategy between two completely different species that somehow decided to work together. And the birds were not just useful for small prey either. In some ancient cultures, eagles were trained to bring down prey as large as wolves and small deer. A single golden eagle, directed by a human hunter, could chase, exhaust, and pin an animal that no human on foot could ever catch alone. A bird, used as a weapon, against a wolf. Let that sink in for a second. Act 3. Birds as alarm systems and scouts. But ancient humans did not just use birds to kill things, they used birds to survive things. Long before any wall or fence existed, birds were the ultimate early warning system. Ancient camps positioned near trees full of roosting birds had a massive advantage. The moment a predator approached in the dark, the birds would erupt in noise, alarm calls bouncing across the camp before any human guard could see or smell a thing. Lions, leopards, rival human groups, the birds always knew first. Some ancient human groups in Africa developed such a close relationship with a small bird called the honeyguide that the bird would actively lead humans directly to beehives hidden in trees and rock crevices. The bird wanted the wax. The humans wanted the honey. So they worked out a deal, without ever speaking a single word to each other. Researchers have documented this relationship still happening today in parts of Africa. The same ancient partnership, still working after thousands of years. A wild bird, voluntarily guiding humans to food, waiting for its share of the reward. So here is what you now know that most people walking around today have never stopped to think about. Ancient humans did not just share the earth with birds. They recruited them, studied them, built relationships with them that were so effective, some of those relationships are still alive today. The falcon that hunted beside an ancient human in Central Asia 4,000 years ago is the direct ancestor of modern falconry, a practice still used by hunters and governments around the world today. The honeyguide bird that led ancient Africans to beehives is still doing the exact same thing right now, this week, in the wild. And the ancient human skill of reading the sky, watching where the vultures circle, listening for the alarm calls of small birds in the trees, that skill is still taught to trackers and survival experts today as one of the most reliable ways to read a landscape. Ancient humans did not conquer nature. They learned to speak its language, and some of their most powerful conversations were with the birds.